Hello everyone and welcome back to UE5 BP Guru. We're back in the FPS tutorial today, and as promised we're going to start working on picking up our items and also building up our inventory, and then we can get to some shooting. I've moved the boys out here for now because I don't need them for any of this, and they're just going to get in the way as I'm testing stuff in here. So I've made a few major changes. So I'll go as slow as I can in my explanation, but you'll notice I have basically deleted out the folders for the items for now, and I've gotten rid of all of those child setups because I was thinking through how I was going to do the inventory, and I realized one thing. If we want one big inventory where we can basically pick up items and store them all in one giant inventory that we can kind of scroll through, it's not going to work having their own individual struts because they won't sit in the same inventory because they're molded differently, if you will. It works if you're picking up items and just using them, but it doesn't quite work when you want to hold them in the same inventory. So basically, I'm changing it so that we can actually fit it into an inventory. So the main change I need to make is I need to add these smaller struts into this strut. So if we add some variables, we can get those struts. If I just put in strut, we have like food strut, and we have a medical strut, and we should also have a weapon one. Weapon strut, there it is. And if I just go food info, medical info, and weapon info, and we've already got the enum on there, so that's pretty good. Someone made a very good comment. I can't remember who it was, I apologize, in one of the previous videos, saying we don't have a stack information. We don't have any stack information. And you're correct, we don't. And we also don't have quantity or any of that sort of stuff. So let's add in quantity. And we also want to know stack max, right? And the reason we want to know that, if I put it there. I'll put it there. It's fine. It belongs at the top, right? It's crucial information. So the quantity is obviously our current amount. So if we said we want to hold 10 apples, this will be how many apples we have currently in that stack. So if our stack we can hold 10 apples, that would be our maximum, and if we had 6, that would be our quantity. And if we hit 10, we want it to then create a new stack if there's inventory space, and if there's not inventory space, we don't want to pick it up. The next thing I did is I have set this up for physics information, so I will explain that in a different video because it's something I feel is very important that no one is talking about. Nobody's doing it. So I will cover that in its own episode on how to set that up. It's only like a 3 or 4 minute video, but it's just I think it's important that there's a video out there. I struggle to find any information around it, and getting it set up working without my character rotating or any of that sort of stuff was just a bit of a nightmare. So I will show you how to do that in another video. But for now, let's get our inventory working. So I created a new master of BP just to test out the physics thing and get that working. So there's nothing actually in here at the minute, but obviously any information you do have in yours, just delete it out. You won't need it from this point on because we're going to add this new information in. So let's add a new variable, and we're now looking for that item strut. That's the one, and we'll call this item info, like so, and we'll make it instance editable and expose on spawn. And that way we can click on either in here or go to the overworld and now get all this information. So we can now, for example, set this apple up, right? So this is our master, so I don't really want to do that in there. So one thing I'm going to do is now remove that. We can clear that. There we go, like so. So that way we know now that that is the master item. I probably should delete that master item out of the world first, but you know, whatever. We'll live and learn. Create child BP, and we'll call this Apple underscore BP. And we can now go ahead and give it all its information. The first thing I do want to do, though, is going to bug me if I don't do it, is delete out that master BP item. There we go. And we're going to go in here and we're going to reassign it its Apple fruit image. There we go. Very nice. And we're going to fill out a little bit of its information. So if we click on this, there it is, item info. So of course we're going to call it an apple. This thing is food. We don't need to technically give it a quantity, but I'm going to give it a quantity of 1. The only reason I'm doing that is because we could have it that if we dropped like 9 apples, they all form 1 apple, but the apple is a quantity of 9. So that's something we could also look at. The stack max will always be 10 for apples, I'd say. We don't have the icons at the minute, and we don't have an item SKM at the minute, but we can make that at some point. So, although depends on how you want to look at it. If you want to have it that you hold the apple to eat it or whatever, I mean, again, it's down to you what kind of game you want to make. The item SKM would be good if you had, if you wanted to be able to hold the item. Hunger game, we're going to say it recreates 10 hunger. Now we're not going to be able to test that because we haven't set up our hunger yet. We still need to do that, but for the sake of setting up our actual item, we'll do it now, and we'll make it that it restores 5 thirst as well. So that's our item set up. Let's drag this bad boy in. There it is. Lovely stuff. And now we just need to get it so that we can actually pick it up. So what we need to do is we need to go into our third person character. We need to add a new variable. This is basically going to be our inventory. We're going to look for that item strut. There it is. And we're going to call this inventory. And we're going to change its variable type to an array. And we also want to create one more thing, which is we're going to call this inventory size. And what this is going to do is just say, allow us to have a maximum we can actually carry in terms of slot sizes. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, we want to hold, I'd say 25 items is fair, especially when you think you can stack them. I think 25 items is pretty fair. Especially considering with this setup, I'm not going to have it that ammunition takes up space. It's just we're going to just have it that it stores into a little ammo pouch or something. I don't know. Whatever you want to make up. But you can do it that you have inventory, I suppose. But sure. In the comments, tell me how you want me to do weapon ammunition before we get there. Would you rather me do it that you just have a ammunition pool that you just, whenever you pick up ammo, it just gets added into like a separate inventory, like a separate integer that just sits on the player? Or would you rather me do it that it gets taken out of the inventory? Let me know. Either one can be done. We can always make it that the inventory slots hold larger ammunition amounts, like their stack amount can be like 250, but just makes it that you have to swap them out or whatever into like a storage box or something. Let me know what you want to do with that in the comments, and I will I'll take the most amount of comments or the most liked comment, whatever you want to do, and I'll just take whatever the best comment is and we'll go with that. Cool. So now we've set that inventory up, we can start adding stuff to it. And we're going to do this in the master item BP because that's just easier to do it in there. Otherwise as well, you'd have to do it in every single item, which we also don't want to do. So what we're going to do is same as all of our other interaction episodes. If you don't know what's coming up from this point on, you have not been paying attention. We're going to be getting our interact BPI. I'm only joking, by the way. Don't unsubscribe. We're going to get that interact. We're going to double tap on that bad boy, and we're going to get that event interact. And what we're going to do is we're going to basically say brains died. We need to get this item information from the master BP. So we'll get its item information. We are going to cast to the third person character. No, wrong one. Damn it. Third person character, like so. And we're going to get character. Where is it? What the heck? Oh, god darn it. Okay, there we go. Get player character. Cast to the third person character. And what we want to do is get the inventory size. Why is that an... Oh, Jesus. Why is that an array? It shouldn't be an array. Make it a single array. Or single variable, should I say. Go back into the master. Compile this. Delete that out. I did change it. What's going on here? Get inventory size. That's better. So you have only the single pin. And we also want to get our inventory. And what we're going to do is we're going to get last index. That's what I'm looking for. Get the last index. And say, does it equal this? Do they equal? That's what we need to know. Now, I've just realized that arrays always start at 0. So what we actually need to do for our maximum inventory size, which I didn't fill out, was put it to 24. That way, it will actually account for 25 items. Now that we've got that, we should know if we can actually pick up this item. So if it does equal 24 and it's true, we want to print a string to say inventory full. Now this can be later on replaced with a widget that we use to sort of tell the player that they can't hold any more in there. But for now, we're just going to tell ourselves via a print string that there's not enough inventory. Once we've said, okay, there's space, what we need to do is do one final check. And to do that, we're going to do a for each loop, like so. Just like that, just so we know where that cable's going. And what we're doing is we're looking for this item. So we're going to break the information here. And we're going to break this information. I don't really know the neatest way of doing this. This is getting messy and I don't like messy code too much. We're going to say, is this equal to this name? We want to do a branch. And we want to say, if that comes back true, we know that this item exists. What we want to do is see if it equals this stack max. Does this equal this? So are we holding 10? And if that comes back true, we don't want to do anything. But if that's false, now I've just realized what we actually want is a for each loop with break. So change this over to your break. And the reason we want to break is we don't want it to continue looking through the loop if we find space for that item. Okay. So it's looking through it's checking the names and it's seeing if we have something called apple. If we do, it then checks to see if we have enough space in that stack to add that item to it. If it doesn't have enough space, we don't want to do anything. We want to carry on checking to see if there's another apple in there with enough space. But if it doesn't equal the stack max and we want to then add this one's quantity, So we're going to get another one of those just to keep it neat. We want to take this and add it with this quantity. Like so. I'm just trying to keep it a little bit neat as I can. Oh god, I don't want to get too confusing. So yeah, so then we say, okay, take the item information, get its quantity, which, like for example in the world we put an apple in with 1, and we add that to our current stack amount. And then we need to set an array element. Set array element. So if this is false, we need to set member. Like so. And that member is going to obviously be its quantity. Like so. And that's going to go into there. So let's drag this back a little bit further. This can go into here. And for the index, we take this array index. Let's bring it down just a bit, just so you can see where it's all going. Okay. And the array is going to obviously be our inventory, which comes in from here. And we'll run that down there like that as well. Okay. Now, after that, we need to break, because we don't want it to continue scouring and do the same thing again. So we break. Wrong one. God damn it. This looks a bit messy. I apologize. But hopefully you all understand what's happening here. And then we break, because we don't want it to do it anymore. Now, what happens if something is not found? And we run through this anyway, and we never add that item to something. So now we need to determine whether we actually did add that item to the inventory or we didn't. To do that, we're going to add a new variable. We're going to set it to a Boolean. And we're going to go, we'll call this has been added. And we'll set that. Okay. No, I don't like that. Nope. No, don't like that. Let's do it here instead. All right, you go in there, and then you go into there. And we'll set that to true. That looks better. So now we know whether we've added that item to it or not. We'll say, okay, has been added. If it's true, we'll do nothing after this point. We are done with whatever we needed to do. Well, actually, no, we're not. We need to destroy the actor. If we haven't added it, if it hasn't been added to this inventory, we need to get our inventory one last time, and we need to add unique. No, we don't. That's not what we need to do. We need to add just anything. I nearly made a mistake there. And then we need to take the item information, and we do that. And then we also need to destroy the actor again. Yeah, that actually should be just fine. There we go. So, in theory, this should now add this item to our inventory. We're going to test it, of course. And we need to, before we do anything, I'm just going to get like the V key. And the reason I'm getting the V key is just because I want to print the string of our inventory, get the inventory for each loop, and I want to break item name, get the item name and the item quantity, and I'm just going to run a print string. I'm also going to make an append to the string, add a pin, and I'm just going to go like that. And what I want to know is I want to know the item name and its quantity. And if this works, we should, in theory, just get a list of everything that's in our inventory. So, oh god, where did I go? That's what I was looking for. Compile, and let's click play. So we have our item. Now what I'm going to show you next episode is how to get this this kind of push mechanic. So now let's pick it up. Did I pick it up? Is it gone? It is gone. And let's press V. We have apple and we have 1. There we go. We can print that as many times as we want. Now what we need to check next is something else. We need to draw out another apple. Let's hope it's actually got its details. That would be bad. There we go. It does. Great. Let's keep the defaults. So now we should have 3 apples. And just to check, we're also going to create 1 new item. Let's create a child, wherever that is. Create child blueprint. And we're going to call this, we'll call it, I don't know, box underscore BP. And we'll drag our lovely box out. But what we'll do is I know I'm doing this a bit ass backwards, but I don't really need to keep it. I'm going to delete this item once I'm done. What I want to do, if I can, maybe not, I might have to open up the VP these days. You used to be able to edit so much more information on the on the thing. We'll just get a box. Any box will do, right? Any box. Doesn't matter. 1 box, though. Can I have a box? Have we got any boxes? Toolbox. We'll use a toolbox, okay? I wasn't planning on doing tools, but we're doing it now, okay? That's what we're doing. All right, we're at this point. We've come too far. Toolbox. And we'll make it the quantity is 1, and we'll put it under, I don't know. I don't think it really matters. Melee. We'll do it under melee, and the stack amount can be 1 for that one. Okay. I'm not going to give it too much more information than that at this point because it's just a test object, but you never know, right? There we go. Let's do that one. And okay. So let's pick up our toolboxes and our apple. There's 1 apple. I need to fix that. Oh, God. I need to get a HUD icon so I know where I'm looking. And that's gone. And that's gone. And if we click out... apparently we've got 10 apples now, somehow. I only picked up 4, but, you know... whatever. That's a bit broken, but it did register the 2nd apple, which is interesting. But it just instantly put it to 10. So what did we do wrong here? Oh, I figured it out. Okay, so the issue there was I didn't actually put it in the break, so it carried on looping around. Interesting, and it didn't stop until it filled up the inventory. That's so interesting. Okay, so that's how you fix it. Don't plug this into the execute, plug it into the break, otherwise it won't stop. It'll just keep looping back around until this comes back with a false result. So now it should be working. So let's just test this. We have 2, yeah. We have 3, and we have 4. Brilliant. There we go, and we have 2 toolboxes. So it's working. There we go. Oh my God, that's amazing. So now that we have this working, and we can pick up items and build up our inventory, the next thing we need to do now is just work on... we need to basically work on our actual inventory so we can see it. And we need to be able to equip items for use. And then once we've equipped those items, we can use them. And once we can use them, we can then start killing things and healing ourselves, and we can properly implement thirst and hunger. Next episode, I'm probably going to show you how to get the realistic physics, but that'll be more of like a miscellaneous tutorial, not quite to do with the first-person shooter one. And then after that, I'm going to do the inventory, setting that up. Obviously, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. It's free to do, and obviously it helps the channel out, and I appreciate it very much. And you can always change your mind down the line. If you've been here before, thank you so much for your support. There is a new members-only series starting up now for a real-time strategy game. We've had our first member, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much to you. And I will see you all in the next episode. Much love. Take care. Bye.